If the Mayan apocalypse is real, we're all gonna die on Friday, December 21st.
Change.
Shifts.
Fearlessness.
Awareness.
Growth.
Compassion.
Transformation.
Evolution.
Acceptance.
Joy.
Responsibility. Truth. Peace.
Forgiveness. Love.
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 All around the planet, people are awakening to the reality that humanity and the Earth are now entering a heightened phase of activity.
Love. Explorations.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Love Explorations, another step towards love. This piece that I'm doing now is inspired by the ending of 2012. And 2012 has ended, we've made it to the new year, and what does that mean? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for us as a society? Here we are. 2013, having survived 2012, the end of the world. I know there's been a lot of talk about 2012 and what it was going to be, and a lot of people, oh, it's just going to be like the Y2K bug. There's not going to be anything. There's going to be people running for the hills and there will be nothing happening. I'm not saying that I was wanting a major disaster by any means, but I was very interested in seeing a shift happen. I was actually hoping for it because we could use a little bit of a shift, don't you think? There's a lot of things happening in the world that are so far beyond what would seem to be human nature that it could be disturbing. And so I was indeed hoping for a shift. I didn't run out and buy, canned beans and rice or any of that, but I was hoping for a shift. And with that hope, there was no fear, just a shift towards love, a shift towards truth and integrity and compassion. And I think all those things are a part of what makes love love. But what I decided was I would create my own shift, and I would create that shift within myself, and it would simply be a continuation, a furthering of where I already want to go. It being the new year and all, so many people, kick off the new year with that New Year's resolution. This year I'm really gonna make an honest effort to ... And oh, here it is, February. I'm kind of losing interest. We use the new year as an excuse to jump off with these ideas. Well, let's own them. We survived 2012. Let's really try and do something to make ourselves the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. And I'll share a couple of things with you that are personal to me as far as the shift that I've created within myself. And you can have them, you can try them out for yourself, you can come up with your own ways of being in the world. And they're also worldly things, because I believe if we as a society, as a whole, as a planetary system, implement a few changes, oh my goodness, the world could be a really, really special place. I'm not saying that it's not now, but there's so much negativity and war and anger and fear that there's becoming less and less room for joy and love to really blossom. So just a few things that I want to share about my shift that I've created via 2012 ending and coming into a new way. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to make sure were a part of my shifting. And several years ago, I went to a friend of mine's house, and he, for whatever reason, had come to a realization that he wasn't treating himself very well. So to remind him of a way to treat himself, he had a picture of himself on his refrigerator. And the picture was of him when he was about 5 years old. And he had this great little smile, and his eyes were all bright. And I said to him, I asked him about the picture, and he said, well, that's to remind me to treat myself as if I were him, because, that child lives in me. A little child lives in all of us. And I went, wow, man, that's pretty cool, because it gives you the perfect excuse to treat yourself magically. It gives you the perfect excuse to always be loving to the little self that lives within each and every one of us. So I took that and I ran with it because I'm a kid at heart. I'm a kid in reality. And so this was a perfect adoption for me, because it was a way that I always wanted to be to begin with. So I took that and I made it my own. And every day since the choice to bring this view into my life has never been the same. The greatest benefit to it is we often beat ourselves up, and we do it because I don't know why we do it. I did it because I didn't like being viewed as someone who's made a mistake, and it's like I punish myself and I beat myself up emotionally with my thought process, and I gave that up. When something comes up with me and someone else, I look at all the things that I've done to help promote that unfolding, if it's a negative unfolding, and I look at what I can do to learn from it. And once I learn from it, I completely let it go. I completely forgive myself, because I don't want the negativity, the extra pressure to be something. I really honor Ernest and the little me that lives inside. It's the greatest excuse. And I let myself up so quickly. It's very interesting to interact with other people and have something come up that's negative or that needs to be cleaned up, and then get to the point of, wow, okay, I'm done. I feel a whole lot better, and it's amazing, and it's a great gift that you can give to yourself if you choose to take on any of these things that I'm saying. If you choose to take them on and to practice them to try and better your life and take yourself to another level as far as deepening self-love. That's the first thing that I would say to try to do, not just try it, to own it, to be it. So another one, now that we're treating ourselves like a little child and loving ourselves as much as we can possibly love ourselves, let's try this. Let's end Let's completely end 2012, the end of an age, the end of the world as we know it. Let's pick something to end, to truly end, and put a lot of energy and effort towards making sure it's not resurrected. For me, the blame game. Let's end the blame game. Let's end the blame and victim game. Let's no longer do that. Let's just wash our hands of it. Let's no longer blame anyone or anything, and let's not be a victim of anyone or anything. And on a personal level, that could look like not pointing the finger at X, Y, and Z, and just looking inward, always looking inward. What can I do to prevent this situation in the future? What can I learn from this present moment? And the story that we tell ourselves, let's tell ourselves a different story, because I stubbed my toe. That's a happening. It happened. But when we say, I stubbed my toe because they put the chair right out in front of me, it's we get into, we stay locked up with someone else being responsible for where we are, when no matter where we are, no matter what the situation, we are there, aren't we? So aren't we partly responsible for anything that happens in our surrounding area? Of course we are, because that's the one thing that you could change, and the complete reality shifts. If we could end the blaming game and the victim role and stop pointing our finger at someone saying, they did this to me, so I'm going to do this, it gets us nowhere. It gets us absolutely nowhere. So let's try something different. Let's try compassion, understanding, forgiving. Let's try love. Dare I say love in a worldly sense, country to country. Could we try that instead of blaming and being a victim of, the terrorist? The difference between an American and a terrorist? Your address. Because I guarantee in the home of a terrorist, they're not saying, I love being a terrorist. I'm pretty sure somewhere someone's calling America the terrorist. I'm just saying. I love where I live. I don't want to be taken out of context, but could we do something else that doesn't involve trying to control others? I think we can. I believe we're capable of that, and I'm believing in that more and more with a full open heart to be a part of something different. So let's try that. Let's end the blame and victim game, and let's start taking full responsibility for where we are, the whole while treating ourselves like kings and queens, like the little kid that lives inside of us. So let's try that. Now that we are treating ourselves like the little child that lives within us, and just pouring all that love into self, and we have decided to end something in our lives that doesn't serve us, that does not bring us more joy, love, peace, happiness. Now what? How about we become the best versions of ourselves? Not according to the magazines, not according to the television, not even according to our parents. Let's be the best version of ourselves according to us, self. I am looking for, paying attention to, being present with truth. I am always trying to live from that place. So what's the best version of you? you know, truth with the least amount of ego, you know, just seeing truth as what it is. And I'm on that path. I'm not there 100%, but I try and live in truth. Anyway, what is the best version of you? And why aren't you living it? We get so attached to what others say and think, and you know, when in relationship we lose ourselves, and that's one of the things that I refuse to do. I will never stop being me, because no one can know what it means to be me outside of me. Just like no one can know what it means to be you outside of you. So we come into a relationship and someone says, oh, I don't want you to do this, 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 and this. I need you to do that, 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 and that. And we go, okay, and we do it because of the joy, the excitement of being with that new person. Eventually, we shift back to being who we want to be, and then we get into a struggle. Well, what if you're just always yourself? And you're the best version of yourself that you can possibly create. And, you know, I've mentioned before, we've given a negative construct to being selfish. Be selfish. Be selfish with yourself. Who else could you be selfish with? Be selfish with making sure you are taken care of first. Making sure that you are loved by you first. And we often, you know, I got into my current relationship, my marriage, with the understanding that I was going to take care of her. Done. That was done. That was happening. I'm going to take care of you, you know, and everything's going to be great. And my missus, she wasn't my missus at the time, but she said to me, I'm going to take care of me. You have to take care of you. And I said, well, what? It's not what relationship is. Relationship is we take care of each other. And she's like, well, no. I'm going to take care of me. You have to make sure you're taken care of. I said, well, I already know that I'm going to take care of you. And if I'm taking care of you and you're taking care of you, who's going to take care of me? You know, a little Ernest, you know, a little helpless Ernest. And, but like I've also said before, I trust her completely. And when she says something, I take it to heart. And I try and see how I can become more of the idea that she's introduced if I believe in it. And this is one that I really did start to believe in. And so I take care of Ernest. And I'm honest about what that means. And my wife takes care of herself. And we are individuals first. And we come together as individuals in love with ourselves. And we're trying to share that experience with each other. And to me, that's what relationship is. A lot of people say, oh, it's about a compromise. Well, I'm not going to give up anything that I want. If she wants something and I agree with her, it means that's what I want. But I'm not going to be resentful about, you know, the restaurant I wanted to eat at because I went to her restaurant. So being the best version of self means being true to yourself. Being true to yourself and honest about what that means. We lie about who we are to get close to someone and then later expose the true us. And, you know, 7 kids and a marriage, 2 mortgages later, you're trying to figure out how to make it all work. Let's just be who we are all the time. The best versions of ourselves. Let's try that. Now, we're treating ourselves like a young king, young queen, pouring all that love into ourselves. We found something to end that doesn't serve us, and we are being and becoming more and more the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Now, who will you be known as when you look in the mirror? When you look in the mirror, who will you be known as? Will you be known as the person who loves conflict? The person who gossips and is involved in negativity? Will you be known as the great fighter? I've decided I will be known as, only to myself, when I look inward, when I face myself in the mirror, the compassionate forgiver. It's who I'm vowing to be known as. It's who I'm vowing to be, because it can only serve me. I truly believe that. Sometimes we in relationship or family things, we have hardships and we feel like our heart is broken, and we swear to never do this. I'm never getting involved with anyone else or whatever. That's not me. I welcome life and all that life is, and it's my job to make sure I'm in the best place I can be when life comes at me. And being a compassionate forgiver means no matter who's in front of me, no matter what situation lies in front of me, I want to try and have compassion for the entire situation, for the situation in front of me, for the person in front of me. And I want to forgive myself first if I am bringing any negativity or fear to the reality of the situation. I want to forgive the person for any negativity that they bring, and I want to forgive everything and everyone, and not just as a brush off the shoulder, a sweep under the rug. I want to look at it. I want to have compassion for the situation, and then I want to forgive it. If you don't know, I was molested as a child, and by a male cousin and a female cousin, and there was a lot of anger in my house, and I've gone back to those situations, and I've had compassion for the entire situation, and I forgive all parties completely, and it frees me. It frees me of it, and I don't need anything of them. I don't. It's not about them. It's not about trying to have someone else better my life. It's about me taking responsibility for self and offering forgiveness and compassion in any and all situations that arise. So for me, that's who I am now known as when I look in the mirror. I am the compassionate forgiver. Who will you be known as when you face yourself? Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for the emails and the comments and the questions and the comments and the comments. Feel free to email me at ernestj.love@yahoo.com. You can even Skype me. I love personal interactions real time, so you can Skype me also at love.explorations on Skype, and let's chat, let's get together, let's put heads together, let's figure out where we are, where we want to be, and if I can do anything to assist, I'm more than happy to do that. It's my goal is to be a part of the shift and movement into a new way, a way that's more supporting of love. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again. Aloha.